There comes a moment in every person's life when they stand at a crossroads invisible to the world, but impossible to ignore within themselves. A moment when excuses have grown old, when waiting has become exhausting, when potential begins to feel like a burden instead of a gift. A moment when the mirror no longer reflects who you are, but who you could have been. And in that moment, a question emerges from somewhere deep beneath the noise of everyday life, a question that has separated dreamers from builders, followers from leaders, and ordinary lives from extraordinary legacies throughout human history. Well, the power of a single day. They tell themselves they will start tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. Next month becomes next year. And eventually they wake up wondering where their life went. Time is patient. Time never argues. Time never complains. It simply keeps moving. And whether you use it wisely or waste it carelessly, it continues forward with absolute certainty. Abraham Lincoln once faced failure after failure before becoming one of history's most respected leaders. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. Thomas Edison experienced thousands of unsuccessful attempts before illuminating the world. History remembers their triumphs. What it often forgets is the discipline that sustained them through seasons when success was nowhere in sight. That is where champions are created, not when applause is loud, not when results are immediate, not when circumstances are favorable. Champions are created in silence, when nobody is watching, when motivation has disappeared, when doubt whispers from every direction, when quitting seems reasonable, and they continue anyway, because discipline is not a feeling, it is a decision repeated so often that it becomes part of your identity. Most people wait to feel ready. Disciplined people act before they feel ready. Most people wait for confidence. Disciplined people build confidence through action. Most people negotiate with their goals. Disciplined people commit to them. There is a reason the sun rises every morning without seeking permission. There is a reason the ocean continues moving despite obstacles. Nature understands a principle many humans forget. Consistency creates power. The river does not carve through rock because of force alone. It succeeds because of persistence. Day after day, year after year, century after century, until even stone must surrender. Imagine what would happen if you developed that kind of persistence. Imagine what would happen if your goals became non-negotiable. Imagine what would happen if you stopped asking whether you felt motivated and started asking whether you were committed. Because the life you want is not hiding from you. It is waiting on the other side of the person you must become. And that transformation begins the moment you stop seeking comfort and start seeking growth. Growth is uncomfortable. Growth demands sacrifice. Growth requires patience. But growth also unlocks possibilities that comfort can never provide. The caterpillar cannot become a butterfly while remaining attached to the branch. The old version of itself must be surrendered. Transformation always demands an exchange. You exchange excuses for responsibility. You exchange comfort for progress. You exchange distractions for focus. You exchange short-term pleasure for long-term freedom. And every one of those exchanges feels expensive in the moment, until the day you realize they were the greatest investments you ever made.